Just when he and the new guy he met were looking at each other, a few drops of blood suddenly flowed out. Sue, who reacted, rushed into the room in a hurry, looking at Elizabeth. With a painful look on her face, she not only did not switch in time, but also took out the needle tube and forcibly extracted a stabilizer from the other person's body. At this time, Sue did not realize that once the balance was broken, the door that blocked the desire could no longer be closed. It took until the next morning for Sue to switch Elizabeth back. When he walked into the living room, he found a mess on the table and sofa. The motorcyclist even forgot his helmet at home. The glass was still covered with the note left by the other person. Elizabeth just wanted to tear it off, but found that one of her fingers had grown old in just one night. This is obviously the counterattack brought by Sue's violation of the rules. She ran to the bathroom to scrub, but it was all in vain. After regaining consciousness, she dialed the number on the USB flash drive again, claiming that she had accidentally forgotten to switch the time, and asked the man how to deal with it. But the other person's answer made her completely desperate. What has been used on one side is lost on the other side. There is no going back. Remember, there is no she in you. You are one. Respect the balance, and you won't have any more inconveniences. Elizabeth was shaking all over. She picked up the helmet and threw it directly outside the door. But when she saw Sue, who was young and confident on TV, she was happy for the other person. From the bottom of her heart. After all, the two of them are one. She envied Sue's appearance on the stage. At the same time, she was afraid that the other person would violate the rules again, which accelerated her old age. After a quick shower, Elizabeth received an email reminding her to go to the courier to get the nutrient solution. But as she got the box, she heard someone calling Sue's name. She was scared and hurried to leave, and hurriedly hid in a nearby restaurant. However, before she could calm down, an old stranger told her some inexplicable words. It's long, isn't it? Excuse me. 7 days. According to the birthmark on the wrist, it is not difficult to see that the old man in front of her is the male nurse who gave her the U-disc before. It seems that the other person is suffering from the reflection of the split problem just like herself. Has she started yet? Eating away at you. Elizabeth, who heard this, was more afraid. She was going to go home after leaving the restaurant, but she ran into the motorcycle man, who was dating Sue, in a panic. The other person looked at her with a haggard look, and her eyes were full of indisputable disgust. This was completely different from the passion she had for Sue before. The scene in front of her made Elizabeth start to doubt herself. Could it be that only a young face can win the love and attention of others? Then she quickly ran home and found the phone number left by her old classmate and planned to prove that she was still attractive. The old classmate who answered the phone was surprised. He didn't expect that a superstar who used to be admired by everyone would go on a date with an ordinary person like himself. After booking a meeting time of 8 o'clock in the evening, Elizabeth tried hard to cover the wrinkles with a thick foundation. But when she was about to go out, she suddenly began to hesitate because she saw the young and beautiful Sue again. The strong sense of inferiority drowned her instantly. Elizabeth went back to the mirror and continued to make up. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't compare with the young Sue. In the end, under this extremely inferior drive, she still cancelled the date tonight. In order to find the feeling of being alive, she began to use eye-catching stones to intoxicate herself. With the door of the refrigerator closed, the camera cut into Sue's studio. At this time, she was recording a new episode. However, when she was halfway down the gym, a strange hard block suddenly appeared on her buttock. The recording was forced to stop. Sue also rushed into the bathroom for a checkup. Then she pulled out a greasy roast chicken leg from her belly. Fortunately, everything was just a nightmare. She looked at Elizabeth's corners of her mouth and the oil on her hands, plus the food that had already gone moldy in the living room. Sue was very angry. Because she realized that Elizabeth had already started to mess up, she was worried that the other party's indulgence would affect her. She immediately dialed the phone of the biotech company. Remember, there is no she in you. After hanging up the phone, Sue came to the studio as usual. But when she pushed the door open, she found that the show that was clearly on fire was suddenly cancelled by the company. Confused, Sue hurried to the office. She thought it was her poor performance that caused the show to be cancelled. We can't keep you on the morning show. But why? I just started. Ratings are through the roof. We started at 42. Now we're up to 216, it's phenomenal. People love you. When Sue was transferred back, she found that her house was already a mess. Food was scattered all over the floor. Even breathing was a bitter stench. In order to take revenge on Elizabeth, Sue made an almost crazy decision. She took all the containers she could find at home and began to pull them out from each other's bodies. As the needles were repeatedly inserted, the needle holes quickly tore at a visible speed. Then the lens began to zoom in. The space around was constantly swallowed by the darkness. This symbolized their fragile balance. They had been completely disintegrated until then. 3 months later, there was only 1 day left in the 3 months. Sue not only did not wake up Elizabeth, but even brought her boyfriend back to live with her. Until she found that the stabilizer was running out, she came to the secret room again and planned to continue to extract it. But she didn't expect that the liquid extracted this time would become confused for some reason. Seeing this situation, Sue was finally panicked. So she quickly dialed the biotech company. Yes. Hi. Hi. This is an emergency. There's no more stabilizer fluid. Hello. It's fucking 503. Yes. I'm telling you this is urgent. There's no more stabilizer fluid. It means you've reached the end. What do you mean the end? You've drained it all out. If you want more, you must let the fluid regenerate. Tell me how to do it. I need to stabilize myself right now. You simply have to switch. Excuse me. The switch reboots the fluid secretion process so you can continue to enjoy the experience. No. 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 I can't switch. I can't. Especially not now. There is no other option. Due to the inability to replenish the stabilizer in time, Sue's physical condition deteriorated rapidly. He had to switch quickly to save his life. After confirming that the other party had left, Elizabeth slowly walked out of the bathroom. She had been following the rules, but she didn't expect to end up like this. Then she came to the living room, quickly dialed the phone of the biotech company, and said that she wanted to terminate the switch. Then she brought back the blood-proof photo that she had broken into the living room. The next day, she received a letter from the biotech company. Elizabeth rushed to the courier room as soon as possible and successfully got the medicine she needed. After a difficult psychological struggle, she finally put the medicine into Sue's body. However, when she was half injected, Qingming's desire won over his mind again, because he still needed Sue to help him attend the New Year's Eve party. In this way, he could find the feeling of being chased when he was young. Who doesn't know that this sick and vain desire would soon make him commit a sin? I need you. Because I hate myself. You gotta get ready. It's our big night. Come on. I love you so much. Come on. Come on. You are the only lovable part of me. You have to come back. You have to come back. Come back. Seeing that the other party had not woken up, Elizabeth finally lost her mind. She was in a hurry to get the converter and was going to use her own nutrients to wake Sue up. However, she had completely forgotten as the blood exchanged, Sue successfully opened her eyes. This was the first time they saw each other awake. It was only when Sue saw the Chinese medicine on the ground that she realized that the old woman in front of her wanted to kill herself with her own hands. In order to survive, she began to take the lead. Soon she killed Elizabeth, although she knew that the two of them were one. Sue still thought that as long as she could attend the New Year's Eve party tonight, no matter how serious the consequences were, she was ready to accept it. After cleaning off the blood on her body, Sue hurried back to the company and began to make the final preparations before the party. However, she just went to the bathroom and a tooth fell off without a trace. Even her nails fell off at the touch of a finger. The party was about to begin, and she was obviously unable to attend. She suddenly remembered that she still had half a bottle of stimulant at home. If she injected it into her body, she might be able to separate another new self to save the situation. Thinking of This, Sue immediately ran home and pushed all the remaining stimulants into the blood vessel. But she forgot the most important rule, that is, the stimulant can only be used once. Re-injection will lead to unimaginable consequences. As the cells split for the second time, countless pupils appeared in Sue's eyes, and her body mutated uncontrollably. Finally, a monster full of flesh appeared in front of her. Sue's face was distorted, and Elizabeth's face split from the back. But even so, the obsession in Sue's heart still controlled her to attend the New Year's Eve party tonight. She put her avatar on her face, and then came to the TV station. She fantasized that she would gain countless praises, but the corridor in reality was empty. As the spotlights slowly lit up, Elizabeth stood in the middle of the stage. But before she said the New Year's greeting, the photo on her face suddenly fell. The twisted face scared the audience. Everyone screamed and ran away. The scene was in a mess. Elizabeth. Monster. 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 She was pushed to the ground by the crowd. No one believed she was Elizabeth, and no one would associate her with them. Then she struggled to escape to the street, and her body split into pieces and exploded. Only the broken flesh of Elizabeth's face was left. But even in this state, her face was still moving in the blood, and finally climbed to the star that symbolized glory. In the blink of an eye, the starry sky was like a spotlight, and Elizabeth became the focus of the audience again. The light in the fantasy gradually faded, and her face slowly melted into a pool of blood. The next morning, the cleaner pushed the sweeper slowly, and completely wiped Elizabeth out of the world.